It happens in a split second. A lightning bolt over snow, a waterfall flowing upwards, a sky glowing like fire. No CGI, no tricks, just pure nature doing the impossible. From glowing oceans to volcanoes lighting up the night, these are moments so rare they might only happen once in a billion years. Get ready to witness the side of our planet you were never meant to see. The once-in-a-billion moments caught on camera. Southern Taiwan, June 2025. This isn't lava, it's actually mud shooting 2 meters high from underground pressure. The Wandan mud volcano just erupted for the 10th time in 3 years. Locals deliberately ignite the methane gas with burning rags, creating that crown of flames. You see, the eruption lasted 10 hours straight with mud spewing from 4 separate vents near Huangyuan Temple. Polar stratospheric clouds forming between 15 and 25 kilometers above Earth. They require temperatures below minus 78 degrees Celsius, colder than the stratosphere usually gets. Ice crystals 10 micrometers across diffract sunlight, creating those impossible rainbow colors. Visible only within 2 hours after sunset or before dawn when they're still sunlit from below. Scandinavia sees them maybe once a winter. Norway calls them mother of pearl clouds, a manta ray breaching the surface. They're called devilfish because of their horn-shaped cephalic fins, though there's nothing evil about them. Giant oceanic mantas can reach 7 meters wide and weigh up to 2 tons. Scientists still debate why they leap. Communication, parasite removal, or pure play. When they crash back down, the impact echoes underwater 4 miles. Off California coast, 2 kayakers paddling near a feeding humpback. The 40-ton whale surfaces directly beneath them. One moment they're floating, next they're airborne. Both survived with just the shock. The whale likely never even noticed them. Humpbacks can be 45 feet long, and this was purely accidental. Dashboard camera captures a near miss. Lightning strikes less than 10 feet from a moving vehicle. The driver's reflexes saved them. Lightning heats the air to 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 times hotter than the sun's surface. This bolt carried over 1 billion volts. The rarest electrical phenomenon on Earth. A glowing orange sphere floating through a winter storm. Ball lightning persists for seconds, not milliseconds like regular lightning. 1 in every million lightning strikes produces this. Scientists recorded the first optical spectrum of ball lightning in China, 2014. It's real, it's unexplained, and witnesses report it can pass through solid walls. Why the sky turns those impossible shades. Sunlight scattering through Earth's atmosphere at specific angles. Blue wavelengths scatter more than red. During golden hour, light travels through more atmosphere, filtering out blue entirely. What remains? Liquid gold, painted across the horizon, Pacific coast of Mexico. A 600-kilogram leatherback emerges from the waves. The largest turtle species on Earth, some exceed 900 kilograms. Unlike other sea turtles, leatherbacks lack a hard shell. Instead, they have leathery skin over a flexible cartilage frame. This female likely traveled over 10,000 miles from feeding grounds to nest here. Their population has crashed 97% since the 1980s. Kongoran Els, Mongolia's Gobi Desert, sand dunes rising 300 meters high, stretching 100 kilometers. When wind moves across these specific dunes, they emit a deep humming sound like airplane engines. Locals call them doute mankan. French researchers discovered a thin slate coating on the grains creates this acoustic phenomenon. You can hear it from miles away. Coastal Ireland during hurricane-force winds. Ocean foam piles 30 feet deep through village streets. Dead algae and decomposed plankton churned by violent waves create proteins that foam like cappuccino. Wind does the rest. Residents can't leave their homes for days. Not a rainbow, not fire. A horizontal ice halo occurring only when the sun sits higher than 58 degrees above the horizon. Ice crystals in cirrus clouds must be perfectly aligned horizontal plates. The sun refracts through them like a prism. Rare because all conditions must align perfectly. North Atlantic in winter, a cargo vessel taking a direct hit from a massive wave. These are basically punishment from the ocean itself. Ships disappear without warning in conditions like this. Norway's Lofoten Islands, the legendary maelstrom that inspired Edgar Allan Poe and Jules Verne. This isn't one whirlpool, it's a whole system of powerful eddies forming between islands. Tidal currents reach 11 miles per hour through shallow ridges. The largest vortex spans 40 to 50 meters across, strong enough to threaten fishing vessels. Currents peak during July and August, phytoplankton blooming off the coast, microscopic organisms producing cold light through chemical reactions. When disturbed, they glow electric blue. Every wave sparkles. Step in the surf, your footprints glow. This defense mechanism warns predators. The light actually comes from luciferin reacting with oxygen. Multiple lightning bolts captured in a single frame. Thunder travels roughly 1 mile every 5 seconds. Count the delay between flash and boom to gauge distance. This storm discharged millions of volts in seconds. A dust devil spiraling across the savanna, formed when hot ground heats air rapidly, creating an updraft. Spinning winds organize the column, can reach 60 miles per hour, though most are harmless. This one stood over 100 feet tall. Positive lightning strike. Originates from the top of a thunderstorm, not the base. Carries up to 10 times the electrical charge of regular lightning. These account for only 5% of strikes but cause most lightning-related damage. Cavum Clouds, also called hole punch clouds. Aircraft passing through supercooled water droplets trigger instant freezing. Ice crystals fall, creating a perfect circular void. Looks artificial, completely natural. The falling ice often produces rain that never reaches the ground, virga. Rogue wave is the ocean's deadliest surprise, a single wave towering above all others, can reach 100 feet. Forms when wave trains from different storm systems intersect. The 1995 Dropner wave measured 85 feet. Before that, scientists dismissed reports as exaggeration. Chile's coastal cliffs during extreme winds. Water cascades upward instead of down. Wind speeds exceeding 70 miles per hour blow the falling water straight back up. The waterfall literally reverses direction. Happens during hurricane-force conditions. Second sighting. Golf ball-sized sphere drifting through a room. Sometimes hisses, sometimes silent. Can explode, can fade. In 2025, a couple in Alberta filmed one hovering 6 meters above ground for nearly a minute. Current theories suggest vaporized silicon from lightning strikes forming glowing plasma balls. Nobody knows for certain. A volcanic smoke ring from Mount Etna, Italy, hot gas and steam shooting through a circular vent creates these. Physics is identical to smoke rings from pipes, just supersized, can reach 200 meters in diameter, drifts for minutes before dispersing. El Califate, December 2020. The moon's shadow racing across Patagonia at 1,700 miles per hour. For 3 minutes, day becomes night. Temperature drops 10 degrees. Stars appear. The sun's corona, visible only during totality, extends millions of miles into space. Next, total eclipse, visible from the US 2044, crepuscular rays, sunbeams streaming through breaks in clouds. They're actually parallel, but perspective makes them appear to radiate from the sun. Shadow and light painting the sky. The golden hour photographers dream about. Flash flooding transforms a park overnight. Water rises 15 feet in hours. Storm drains overwhelmed. Climate data shows these 100-year floods now occurring every decade. Infrastructure designed for yesterday's weather can't handle today's extremes. Kazakhstan, winter 2023, temperatures plummeted to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Herds of livestock froze in place. The cold wave was so sudden, animals had no time to seek shelter. Over 50,000 cattle lost, their bodies preserved by extreme cold until spring thaw, entire mountainside collapsing. Heavy rains saturated the soil for weeks. When it gave way, thousands of tons moved at 100 miles per hour. Landslides can displace more earth in seconds than rivers move in centuries. Coastal erosion claiming another beachfront home. The Atlantic has been swallowing North Carolina's coast at 2 feet per year. Since 2020, over a dozen homes have collapsed into the surf. Rising seas and stronger storms accelerate the process. Hawaii, where fire meets water meets light. An active lava flow, ocean spray, and perfect sun angle create this. Rainbows need 3 ingredients: water droplets, sunlight, and an observer at the right angle. This one arcs over liquid rock. These are daddy longlegs spiders, not actually spiders, they're harvestmen, a massive aggregation, likely for protection. When threatened, the entire mass vibrates in unison. Predators avoid it. Can contain thousands of individuals. Hawaii's Kilauea lava reaching the Pacific. Rock at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit hits cold seawater. Instant steam explosions. The lava shatters into black glass fragments. New land forms. Hawaii grows by 42 acres annually from lava flows. Stand too close, and the steam carries hydrochloric acid. Military demolition misinterpreted as lightning. High explosive charges detonated simultaneously. The flash mimics lightning, but the symmetry gives it away. Compare it to natural strikes. Controlled explosions spread uniformly. Geothermal spring with methane seeping through. The gas ignites naturally from underground heat or human activity. Water remains liquid despite surface flames. Geothermal waters can exceed boiling temperature due to pressure. Siberian methane vent burning continuously. Underground gas pockets leak through permafrost cracks. Russia has hundreds of these. When permafrost thaws from climate warming, trapped methane escapes. It's flammable. It ignites. Some have burned for decades, lightning illuminating clouds from within. Sheet lightning. The bolt itself is hidden inside the cloud, but the entire formation glows, creates that flickering effect across the sky. A water spout making landfall as a tornado. Cuba gets these during hurricane season. This one touched down in Havana January 2019, killing 4 people and destroying 200 homes. Wind speeds exceeded 200 kilometers per hour. Guatemala's Volcán de Fuego, one of Central America's most active volcanoes, erupts every few hours, sometimes violently. The 2018 eruption killed nearly 200 people. Pyroclastic flows, superheated gas and rock raced down slopes at 450 miles per hour. Sicily tourists filming from dangerously close. Etna erupts constantly, but this 2021 explosion was unexpected. Volcanologists present were forced to flee. Lava bombs the size of cars landed where people stood minutes earlier. 10 injured. Switzerland. A controlled avalanche release. Too much snow accumulation creates instability. Ski patrol triggers avalanches intentionally to prevent uncontrolled ones. This one moved 100,000 cubic meters of snow, enough to bury a village. Nepal, spontaneous avalanche, moving at 200 miles per hour. The powder cloud preceding it indicates a massive dry snow avalanche. These create blast waves that flatten forests. Everest Base Camp was struck by one during the 2015 earthquake, killing 22. Direct lightning strike on a tree, 30,000 amperes of current through wood. The sap instantly vaporizes, exploding the tree from inside. Lightning strikes Earth 100 times every second. Mind you, 8.6 million times daily, ice halos flanking the sun, atmospheric ice crystals refracting light at 22-degree angles. Appears as 2 bright spots on either side of the sun, common in cold regions. Ancient sailors used them for weather prediction. Altocumulus, standing lenticular clouds, form over mountains when moist air forced upward cools and condenses. They appear stationary because new air constantly replaces air moving through. Pilots avoid them. They indicate severe turbulence. Lightning generated within an eruption plume. Ash particles collide, creating static electricity. Charge separation builds until discharge, known as dirty thunderstorms, witnessed at every major explosive eruption. Mud skippers in their natural habitat. Amphibious fish that can breathe air and walk on land using modified fins. Found in mangrove swamps across the Indo-Pacific, they absorb oxygen through wet skin and mouth lining, can survive out of water for days if they stay moist. Desert pupfish swimming through ephemeral pools. When rare desert rains create temporary waterways, dormant eggs buried in dry mud hatch within hours. These fish evolved to survive extremes. Water temperatures up to 44 degrees Celsius, salinities twice that of seawater. When pools evaporate, they lay eggs and die. The cycle repeats. A tornado over water. This one formed off the Florida Keys. Waterspouts average 50 meters wide and last 15 minutes. Wind speeds, typically 50 to 80 miles per hour, weaker than land tornadoes but still dangerous to boats. When they reach land, they become tornadoes. Australia, a humpback stranded by receding tide. The 40-ton whale can't survive long out of water. Its weight crushes internal organs. Rescuers must wait for high tide using wet blankets to keep skin moist. This one was successfully refloated after 6 hours. Michigan's Great Lakes shoreline crumbling. A 300-foot section drops into Lake Michigan. Decades of wave action undercut the base. One surge storm and gravity takes over. The Great Lakes lose roughly 3 feet of shoreline annually to erosion. Multiple waterspouts simultaneously. This is extremely rare. Each is an independent vortex, but they form under the same weather system. Seen off the coast of Thailand, when atmospheric conditions are perfect, several can develop along a squall line, an iceberg achieving equilibrium. As underwater ice melts faster than surface ice, the center of gravity shifts. Eventually, the iceberg becomes top-heavy and rolls. This releases decades-old ice that was underwater, hence the striking blue color. The flip generates massive waves, a house swept away by flooding. Norway, 2023, extreme rainfall, 200 millimeters in 24 hours. Rivers overflowed, carrying entire structures downstream. Climate projections show Norway's rainfall intensity increasing 20% by 2050, retaining wall failure during a mudslide. Saturated soil weighs over a ton per cubic meter. When the wall gave way, 500 tons of earth buried the parking area below in seconds. The world's largest salt flat, 10,000 square kilometers of pure white. During rainy season, a thin water layer creates Earth's largest natural mirror. Late January through early March offers the best mirror effect when shallow water sits atop the salt crust before evaporating. Perfect reflection. Sky and ground become one. The flat contains 10 billion tons of salt and holds about 22% of the world's known lithium reserves. Mexico, 2021, a sinkhole opening in a farm field started at 5 meters wide, grew to 130 meters in weeks. Depth 45 meters, caused by underground water dissolving limestone bedrock. The cavity collapsed when it could no longer support the weight above, swallowed a house and farmland. Madrid's poplar trees release seed-carrying fluff in June. It accumulates like snow. One spark, a cigarette, a hot exhaust, and it ignites. Flash fires race across parks, no significant damage but terrifying to witness. Literally burns out in seconds. A meteor entering Earth's atmosphere, October 2024. Space rock traveling 50,000 miles per hour. Friction with atmosphere heats it to 3,000 degrees, visible for 500 miles. Most burn up completely. This one likely dropped small meteorites in the Atlantic. Pyrocumulus clouds, generated by wildfire's intense heat. Fire heats air, creating updrafts powerful enough to form clouds. These clouds can produce lightning, which starts more fires. Australia's 2020 megafires created clouds reaching 50,000 feet. Mexico's underwater sinkholes, limestone bedrock collapses, exposing groundwater. Ancient Mayans considered them sacred gateways to the underworld. Over 6,000 mapped cenotes in Yucatan. Crystal clear water, constant temperature, cave divers have explored underwater passages stretching hundreds of miles. Great Smoky Mountains, Pennsylvania. For 2 weeks in June, fireflies synchronize their flashing, thousands blinking in perfect unison. Only a few species worldwide exhibit this behavior. Males flash together to attract females. Scientists still don't fully understand the coordination mechanism. A river whirlpool near a dam. Water forced through a narrow gap spirals. These can trap kayakers. The circular current makes escape difficult. Depth and speed determine danger level. Waves strike against 700-foot cliffs. Atlantic swells hitting Carboniferous rock. These cliffs face the full force of North Atlantic storms. Wind speeds exceed 100 miles per hour during winter. Waves reach 40 feet. The cliffs erode roughly 1 inch per year. Urban sinkhole, 2023. 40 feet deep, swallowed 2 cars. Houston sits on clay and sand. Poor foundation material, decades of groundwater extraction caused subsidence. The city sinks 1 inch annually. When underground voids form, collapse is sudden. A meteorite strike captured on security camera, space debris entering atmosphere at hypersonic speed, most burn up completely. This fragment survived to impact, rare. The fireball visible for hundreds of miles. Meteorites this size hit Earth daily, mostly in oceans or uninhabited areas. A dust devil in an urban setting, summer 2024, formed during a heat wave when ground temperatures hit 35 degrees Celsius. Hot pavement heats air rapidly. Rising air column begins rotating, picked up loose debris, creating the visible funnel. Arctic methane crater burning. Siberian permafrost contains massive methane deposits. As permafrost melts, pockets collapse, releasing gas. This one ignited. Crater is 50 meters wide. Scientists estimate thousands of similar craters across the Arctic. A moonbow, rare rainbow produced by moonlight instead of sunlight, requires full moon near horizon, rain opposite the moon, and complete darkness. Human eyes perceive them as white because moonlight is too dim to trigger color receptors. Long exposure cameras reveal the colors. Low, ragged clouds beneath the storm. Scud forms when rain cools air near the ground, causing condensation. They race across the landscape ahead of the main storm, often mistaken for wall clouds, which produce tornadoes. Scud clouds are harmless, just dramatic. Thanks for watching Earth's Dark Secrets. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us. Hit the bell so you never miss our next videos.